don't even want to talk to Grandma. It's okay, we're going to eat, baby. She treated me today. Sickening. My grandma treated me today sickening, 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 sickening. You and I were sound asleep. Sound asleep, did nothing wrong. Didn't even know what the fuck. Woken up out of sound sleep. She can't be doing that. She cannot be doing that. What are we supposed to do? If she won't follow the keep the keys in the glass jar till you leave, and she won't follow it, and then she'll take them out and forget she took them out, and then accuse me of taking them. Viciously accuse me. What am I supposed to do? Except cry as usual. Right, Omar? What's Mama supposed to do except cry? As usual. Grandma doesn't give a shit. Nobody cares about herself. Mental condition she's in, she should not be watching True Blood. Should not. Grandma should not be watching True Blood on. Especially since she's ashamed of it and doesn't want anyone to know. I like watching True Blood, but then you pay the consequences. Whatever those consequences may be. However benign or not so benign those consequences may be of you and your mentality, your mental state, watching True Blood every fucking day, Mom. You pay them. Joe believes in evil. Joe doesn't play around. Joe has periodically, repeatedly, you know, when my mother's behaved, said your mom's possessed. I don't go that far, but Joe does. Who's to say who's right and who's wrong here, right? Seriously. Maybe Joe's right. Again, it can't help her in any universe to be watching that show. Even if I don't put it on for her, she can technically get it herself. Plus, she'll just hate me, so, you know. Why should I be the morality police? Tired of it. Tired of everything. How convenient. She can blame a ghost. Anything she does. Oh, it's the ghost did it. The ghost took my keys. The ghost did this. The Dee-Dee. It's bullshit. There is no Dee-Dee. There is no fucking Dee-Dee. You did it. I will not let you lie. I refuse to let her lie. Luckily, I have a relationship with the new woman who drives her to church and stuff. I can do exactly what I used to do with the other one and say, this is what really happened. I'm not going to let her lie. I didn't do anything wrong. She did it. She did it. Did it to herself and then did it to me and then blames a fucking Dee-Dee ghost. Bullshit. refuse to let her get away with telling all the church people whatever she wants to say. To cast blame it on anyone, anything but herself. I refuse. I'm the one she casts blame on. I'm sound asleep innocently, dreaming, sound asleep. I'm not even about to wake up, woken up by her screaming and yelling and pounding on my door. Screaming and yelling and pounding on my door. Followed by calling me a fucking bitch more than once. On a Sunday when she's headed off to church. Treat your daughter worse than a dog, including calling her a fucking bitch twice on a Sunday when you're headed off to church. Needless to say, I won't be putting True Blood on for her today. I'm not even talking to her to feed her. That's all. I'll give her dinner. That's about it. I'm not doing anything else for her, not talking to her, definitely not putting on True Blood for her. I'm not going to reward her horrible behavior. Not even bad behavior, disgusting towards me behavior. Sickening, repulsive towards me behavior. I told that woman that my mom called me a fucking bitch twice and that she's watching True Blood. I'm not playing these games anymore with my mother. I deserve more, everything I do for her. Said it to her too. I'm like, you don't show me any respect, Mom. Treat me worse than a dog. You're not really sorry. If you were sorry, you wouldn't do it again. You're sorry in the same minutes after you said sorry when I don't accept that Dee Dee did it and not letting you get away with accepting no responsibility for your horrible, horrible behavior towards me. Then you call me a fucking bitch again. Hardly Christ-like, Mom. Hardly Christian. Again, as you're headed off to church. As she's headed off to church. Then she'll be like, did you tell so-and-so I watched True Blood? I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. Why don't you just leave? Why don't you just go back to Joe's? Yeah, I do that, you'll be in a nursing home in 2 seconds flat, Mom. I can guarantee you. I can guarantee you. I might have survived before, but barely. I fell twice right before I came back. I came back to red meat on the top shelf, leaking all over the refrigerator. Not in a plate, just leaking everywhere. My mom oblivious to it all. Came home to filth, to the rug and everything, bug on the counter, bugs on the filth on the rug. You had to, even though church women had taken you to get a $150 vacuum because you can't push, and I understand that the heavy Shark $400 vacuum that was purchased when I thought I would be here to use it, and you hadn't used the vacuum in 5 months. Even when I don't use the vacuum, I periodically sweep the rug, sweep the kitchen floor, clean the kitchen floor, clean the counters. Once in a while I even clean the refrigerator inside. That's a huge job. She'd never do it. We'd go 10 years without her ever cleaning that refrigerator. It's a good, sweet boy, huh? In the world can make a back. Cannot allow her to get away with blaming a ghost for her bad, you know, because then she could say the ghost does anything at all. She cannot be pounding on this door and waking me up out of sound sleep. You know, it's torment. She wakes him up too. He was sound asleep. Weren't you? You were both sound asleep. And it's hell. It's not hell being woken up by him. Because he's not accusing me viciously and swearing and calling me a fucking bitch and all that and insisting that I took something of his that I didn't take. It's abusive. I'm reminiscent of my father. Of course, my mom, you can blame it on her mental illness. My father was just an abusive towards me prick. May have even been worse than that. Something I naively didn't realize until fairly recently, a few years ago. Selena pointed it out to me. What it means if my daddy never laid a hand on me, but said things and noticed things. About his supposedly sexy, beautiful 13, 14. I say supposedly. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. Don't you see all the horrible acne on my face? How can you call me beautiful? It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense, Pug. At least not to me. Not to my little fucked up teenage self. didn't make any sense to your mama. No, it did not. Didn't matter anyway, because she wanted love, not admiration, especially from her own father. Who I neither know nor care is alive or dead, by the way. Don't care. Whether or not. I neither know nor care whether or not is alive or dead. Is that the proper English? Is that the proper English, pug dog, huh? Oh, my little baby. Is that the proper English? Wanted love, not admiration. My looks of body. From my daddy, whom I neither know nor care whether or not is alive or dead. I think that's proper. Maybe not. I'd have to think about it. Thinking about it doesn't matter. We're not writing a paper here. We're not writing a paper. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect grammar, perfect English. You can make mistakes. It's not a paper for school. Not a paper for school, oh my Lou. Oh my Lou, not a paper for school. That has to be perfect. Try. Out here, not so much. I make mistakes. I often do. Make mistakes grammatically or otherwise. We got him because I knew he was valuable, even way back then. I made Donald swear on his life he would never for one split second leave this purebred pug outside, not to run into the store for a minute to buy a drink or something. And we have people these days leaving their kids in running cars and then screaming and yelling on Inside Edition that their baby's been stolen with the car, I just ran in to check on his grandma. I didn't want to wake him up. Or I just ran in to do this. It was just 1 minute. You can't do it for 1 minute. Thieves are waiting to pounce, obviously. If it keeps happening, learn. Because one of these days your kid is going to be dead. One of these days we're going to hear a tragedy where it wasn't where the kid was hijacked and then left miles away for a half an hour, a little 2-year-old, till the police could arrive and a good Samaritan found him instead of someone else finding him who would hurt him. The hijacker just left him. They never found the hijacker or the car. But the boy is okay. In another instance, they chased after the car or something, and I think it's 2 weeks in a row. You cannot leave your kid even for a second in a running car, obviously. I don't care what area you're in, why you're so stupid. One of these days, one of you is going to lose your kid for good. Okay? In that instance, a 2-year-old left for a good half hour by himself. That could have ended tragically. A good Samaritan found him, called the police. It took the police a while to get there, but they suspect, based on the timeline, that he was there for a good half hour sitting there by himself. And the hijacker and the car were never found. But the fact is, it's always, I was just running in for a minute. 2 weeks in a row, i.e. it keeps happening, and you need to never do it again, anybody. You can't have this attitude these days. Would-be thieves are just waiting. I don't care, you don't have to be in a bad area. Would-be thieves are waiting to grab your car, and sometimes you might have a sleeping child. They don't want the child. That doesn't mean they're not going to put the child in serious danger. The little 2-year-old could have crawled into the street and been killed. I mean, why are people in this day and age still leaving their kids in running cars? People are so fucking stupid. And we always hear it ended okay. Yeah, one of these days it won't. Mark my words, one of these days it won't. One of these days it will not end okay. Just because 2 weeks in a row on the story on InSpeech and on Inside Edition ended okay, one of these days it will not. One of these days, your kid's going to end up dead. One of these days, it will be somebody who doesn't want the car, who sees the kid in the running car and actually wants the kid. One of these days. Mark my words. We never even would leave this little dog outside for one split second, 1 minute alone. Let alone your child. When I'm hearing this all the time, I mean 2 weeks in a row, there's a problem. The problem with people not realizing you can't do that at all. You can't do it. Wake up your kid, you know. He was sleeping, we don't want to wake him up. Okay, and in the end, he's left by a hijacker who still has your car and was never caught for a half hour alone, a 2-year-old, because you didn't want to wake him up because he was sleeping. You were just running into the grandmother's house for a minute. The other one was just running in to do something for a minute. You cannot leave your kid alone for a minute anywhere, or it's gonna end tragically one of these days. And I will not feel bad for you because you are so fucking stupid. I don't feel bad for stupid people. Even if I'm the one who's stupid and something happens to me, I don't feel bad. I feel bad for my mom if it's mental illness that causes something bad to happen to her. But someone who leaves their kid in a running car even for 1 minute, I keep hearing the same excuse. Oh, I just did it for a minute. He watch him and says, my baby's in that car. Get after that car, my baby. I shouldn't have left him in the car in the first place. God, these people are so dumb. You'd think they'd know by now. You'd think they know by now. There are people just scoping the area, just waiting for a running car. 99% of the time, they're not after your kid. They want the car. But they're waiting for someone to leave their car running. Clearly, if this happened 2 weeks in a row, and 2 weeks in a row, there was a kid in the car. Doesn't matter if you lose your running car. Covered by insurance, I think. I don't know. But you don't want to have your kid. Does anyone scold these parents? Probably not. They've been through enough, I know. And the next one who does it, the kid's going to be dead. Mark my words. They've been through enough. It all ended okay until it doesn't. It all ends okay until it doesn't. Stupidity of people. I knew enough to not even leave this dog alone outside. I knew enough. People leave their kids in running cars. Can't do it even for a minute. 2 stories in a row, week to week, back to back on Inside Edition prove that 100%. These day and age, you can't leave your kids in the car for a minute. Not to do anything. The inconvenience of waking them up, of getting them out or whatever, it's not worth them getting hurt or killed. Better the inconvenience. Mother can't be treating me like shit. Every time she does it, it just makes everything worse inside of me. told you my love. Oh, it's still running. It's still running. Grandma can't be treating Mama like shit and blaming it on Ghost Dee Dee. There's no Dee Dee, there's you. You gotta follow the rule on the front door. You gotta leave the keys in the glass jar. And if you don't, you can't just be treating me like shit and pounding on my door and waking me up out of a sound sleep. Mother should not be watching True Blood. She has to decide it on her own, though. I can't be the morality police for her. For a number of very, very valid reasons. You have to decide things on your own. Deal with the consequences, deal with their own conscience. I told her I don't think you should be watching that. It's not Christian, that's for sure. It's not compatible with your Christian values. When I say stuff like that, I get bullshit. I'm only a Christian on Sundays. I have 2 different lives. Okay, Mom. When you're a free moral agent, you have to deal with the consequences of your 2 different lives. Can't be the morality police. I walked away when that brother, Suki's jerky brother, who just keeps ending up with the worst women, they're going to kill that vampire, the nice vampire. Eddie, I think, is his name. I don't know, but they're going to kill him.